ask me, you know, what inspired me to write these books. So before I dive into it, I'll quickly cover that. So it really comes down to three things. I've always loved teaching and mentoring. I used to want to be a teacher. And so anytime I'm able to pass on my knowledge to help others succeed, it makes me really happy. I tutored chemistry in Santa Barbara, and when you see a complicated concept click for that person just because you explained it in a different way than their professor, it's just a great feeling. So I'm sure all parents and teachers out there know what I mean. Number two, my daughter was born just under 2 years ago, and I'd read books to her every day. And with both my husband and I being chemical engineers, we were given science books for kids. And I noticed that some of the topics they described were kind of hard to understand the actual science concept. And then some were too academic, missing the fun element, and none of them rhymed that I had. I love rhyme. I love the flow of it. When my daughter wants to read the same book for the third time in a row, I can recite it from memory as she flips through the pages, and I can just keep reading the book because I've memorized it. And really, number three, it was actually the pandemic. So because I had to shelter at home, it gave me more time on the weekends. And then I also knew that there were families and kids that had to change their daily lives and stay at home. And so they were looking for things to do, looking for books and activities. So I thought that, hey, I could make science approachable for kids. And so it was actually Mother's Day last year that I wrote my water story that you're going to hear today. So here I am almost 1 year later, and I have at least 3 stories written. 3 of them are published, but there will be more to come. So with that, I'll get into the reading. All right, so I am reading Bonding with Friends, H2O and Helium. I know that some of you might have this copy at home, so feel free to follow along. Otherwise, I'm gonna hold it up so that you can see the illustrations. All right, and I also made a table of contents. Kids are eventually going to have to see this, so it's just kind of an easy introduction. So chapter 1 is H2O. H is friends with the letter O. When they bond, they can form water, H2O. O, or oxygen, has 2 hands like us, and holding hands for him is a must. No hand to hold makes him feel incomplete. So he calls his friend Hydrogen, who lives down the street. Hydrogen friends only have 1 hand to give. Thankfully, his hydrogen or H friends are twins. So oxygen held out his left and his right, and each hydrogen grabbed on real tight. They felt stronger together instead of being alone. This bond is something you see in your home. You see these 3 friends more than you think when taking a bath and turning on the sink. You need H, and O to hold hands every day. Lucky for us, they like it this way. Let's say a big thank you to H2O. Without it, plants and our food wouldn't grow. It quenches our thirst or fills up the pool. Our H2O friends make one cool molecule. And then for those of you that have the copy at home, you can see I actually show the periodic table and show where hydrogen and oxygen are, and kind of an easy way legend of how to read it. Just really to introduce this concept so that later when they see it in science class, definitely they'll see it in high school chemistry. It's not that scary. They've seen it before, so it'll be easy for them. All right. Chapter 2, Helium. O bonds with his H friends who live down the street. They must hold hands to feel strong and complete. Some don't feel like there's a missing part because of how they are built from the start. This is Helium with the symbol HE, who likes to be by himself normally. Helium doesn't bond, so he's called inert. When we feel like this, we're called introverts. He still has friends and sees them in class, but prefers to be solo, called a noble gas. You and helium have been in the same room. Helium is in floating party balloons. He doesn't normally bond, but he isn't shy. He'll fly through the clouds and up in the sky. Helium's weight is lighter than air. That's why a balloon will float way up there. Helium can be found in stars and the sun. So helium is important to everyone. He isn't the only one without a bond. Other inerts are neon and argon. You may have seen neon in colorful signs to show a store open or to advertise. They all live happily on Noble Gas Street, enjoying their alone time and feeling complete. You might form many bonds or like being alone. Either way, you have friends and are loved to the bone. So that's the end of the helium story. And again, I show the periodic table, and you can see the elements that I introduced. So helium, neon, and argon. You might notice that they're all in a line. So this is where all the noble gases are in this column of the periodic table. All right, well, now it's time for an activity, a little game. So I'm going to share my screen and get your chat window ready, because I'm going to ask a few questions based on what you heard in the story and some of the concepts that I talked about. And then the winner is going to get a prize. So get your chat window ready. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Share. Can everyone see? Okay. So like I said, the winner is going to get a prize. The prize is going to be one of these coloring or activity books. So it's really the same story, but you are able to color it in however you like. So you can spend an hour or more, coloring in however you want this to look. And then there's some activity pages at the end that you can just test what you learned. So maybe mom and dad can get like a 30-minute break while you do this activity. Okay, so I'll just kind of go over some of the guidelines. So hopefully you have your chat window ready, but so all of your answers are going to be entered in the chat. So the first person to enter the correct answer is going to get a point. And there's going to be 5 questions. So, whoever has the most points will get the prize at the end. And I think that there might be some adults only on the call, but let's let the kids be the ones that participate in this. Parents, if you have kids that are 5 and under, feel free to assist. Okay, ready for question number 1? Okay, get ready for the chat. Is the chat window up? Get ready. Okay, question 1. Based on what you heard in the story, how many bonds or hands does oxygen have? Let me pull up the chat. I don't think I can see the chat. Oh. Okay.
All right, Kim, I'm monitoring the chat as well. This is Sherry.
Okay.
We've got some good answers coming in.
So who was first?
It looks like first was Monica.
Okay. And you might see that there's a hint here. So the people that actually have the copy at home are going to have an advantage. So yes, The right answer is 2. You heard in the story that O, or oxygen, has 2 hands like us, and holding hands for him is a must. All right, so Sherry, you're keeping tally, right?
I am. And then also Lauren got it right, Eric and Indy. All of them came through with the right answers, which is great.
Okay, I think, did it come in order? So do we have,
We do. Our first one that got the point that time was Monica.
Okay. All right, so Monica gets a point, and great job to all the others that got the right answer. Okay, question 2. Based on what you heard in the helium story, where else is helium found besides party balloons? And it's on page 18. Monica again with the correct answer. Good job. Yes, the answer is stars or the sun. So you, on page 18, you might remember these images. So yes, the sun is a type of star. So yes, the helium is, it's actually hydrogen and helium are in stars in the sun. So helium is it is found there. Okay, question number 3. Okay, everything you need is on this slide. So based on the periodic table of elements, is hydrogen or oxygen heavier? And you can refer to the legend here on the right. So between these two, which one is heavier? Oh, I see Lauren. Lauren's got a reply in. And Monica. That's right, oxygen. So hopefully you were able to see on the legend that here at the bottom is the atomic weight or mass. So you can see that for oxygen, this number, close to 16, is bigger than the hydrogen's mass, which is 1. Okay, remember what you just learned. You're not going to get the legend in the next question. Is hydrogen or helium heavier? Monica. I think Monica's got the lead. That is right. Helium is heavier. You didn't even need the legend that time. Good job. So helium has an atomic mass or weight of 4, and hydrogen has the atomic weight of 1. Good job. So I think Monica's got the lead so far. I actually also wanted to give you a little fun fact or a little shortcut or tip. So you can actually use the atomic number at the top. So the way that the periodic table is laid out, it's actually in order of the smallest to the heaviest, the lightest to the heaviest. So you can see hydrogen up here, then helium number 2. So you can just look at the atomic number here. And so I zoomed in here on potassium and calcium, number 19 and 20. So number 19 is lighter than number 20. So potassium, you can find that in bananas. Because it's the letter K, I actually was potassium once for Halloween in Santa Barbara. I dressed up with like the little periodic table square of K. And you can see that it's lighter than the next element in the periodic table, which is calcium, which has an atomic weight of 40. And calcium, you have these in your bones. So when you go to, when you see this in your science classes coming up, you already know how to read it. Okay, question number 5. This is a tough one, okay? So get ready. Okay. How much does the H2O molecule weigh? And a hint, you have to add up the weight of all 3 friends. So you can think of oxygen as 16, hydrogen as 1. Monica got number 18. That is right. So the H2O molecule, when you sum all of these up, 1 plus 16 plus 1 is 18. So you just did high school chemistry. You are going to be asked that in 10th grade probably. So you're well ahead of it. You're ready to conquer it. It's going to be easy for you. Okay. That is okay, Monica. She's still way ahead of it. Okay. So I think, Sherry, we probably don't need, I was actually able to keep track of it myself. So I think Monica is the winner.
Yeah, it looks like Eileen actually has been answering. Yeah.
Good job. Good job, Eileen. So you'll be getting the coloring book with activity pages. And then hopefully you can share with your sister or friend there. Okay, so great job. I also, before we sign off, I did want to share with this small audience that I actually just published my next book. I just put it on my website today, this morning. So my next book is Phase Change with Friends. So this it talks about, it continues with the water molecule. And basically you're going to learn how the water molecule goes from liquid to where you see it in solid state and even in gas state. So I'm just going to read a couple pages, and so you can decide if it's something that you would want to purchase. We think of water in liquid phase, in the bath or raindrops on rainy days. Let's think of these H2Os on the dance floor. As temperature goes up, they move around more. If it gets cold because the temperature is low, they have less energy and movement slows. You've probably seen solid water around, like a cube of ice or snow on the ground. Do you notice how cold ice cubes are to the touch? And in your warm hand, snow will turn into mush? This is water changing before your eyes, from solid to liquid. Are you surprised? So there's just a little sneak peek. My daughter is obsessed with the snowman. She calls it the snowman book. So hopefully you liked what you heard. If you're interested, I know that Sherry included the link to my website. You can also just search me on Amazon, Kim Donnelly. If you like what you heard and you want to, hear all the updates that I have and when I have new books, on my website, you can actually sign up for my newsletter. And so you will be the first to know when there's a new book coming out. If you happen to want like a personalized copy or an autographed copy, I can include my email. It's kimdonnellybooks@gmail.com. You can also message me through the website, but I can coordinate that because you can't order a personalized or an autographed copy through Amazon. So you'd have to work with me directly. But I'd be happy to do that. If you do get the books and you enjoy them, the most helpful thing for an independent author is to write a review on Amazon, share it with friends, share it on social media. It's really hard to get the word out sometimes. So that would be wonderful. And thank you so much for your time and having fun with me today. Congratulations, Eileen, for being the winner. And with that, enjoy your Sunday.